Hello again. Now, government's response to forced sterilizations is under fire. That's from women's rights organizations, in particular the Her Rights Initiative. The Commission for Gender Equality released its report on this matter a year ago, finding gross violations of the rights of South African women. But very little has been done to bring anyone to book. Well, let's chat now to Sethembiso Mthembu, the founder of Her Rights Initiative. Sethembiso, very good morning to you. And I suppose for anybody who doesn't realize the horror of such experiences, or many who've never had to face such treatment, just give us an idea of what women have been through, what led to this being investigated, to this report being released, and what has not happened since then, I suppose.
Good morning, Uveka, and good morning to you, to the viewers of ENCA. Thanks for the opportunity. So forced and coerced sterilizations of HIV-positive women was started to come out in South Africa in late 1990s, and sort of continued over time. It happens mainly in pregnancy, in delivery, when HIV-positive women deliver. You remember in the past that C-section birth was recommended for HIV-positive women. So consenting for sterilization would happen when women are already in labor, being wheeled to theatre, and also in situations that are coercive, in the sense where women will be shouted, told that they'll die and leave orphans, and forced to sign. And obviously, in some instances, women would not know that they are sterilized until much later when they are trying to conceive again, or when they have heard that other women living with HIV are sterilized and have to find out. Wow. In some of the cases, very few of the cases, HIV-positive women will have their uteruses removed, because the doctors will say you are removing your uterus because you will have cervical cancer because you have HIV, but there will be no indication of cervical cancer.
Unbelievable, Sethembiso. I mean, you would imagine, having gone through this during apartheid, where we had, women being sterilized and the horrors of all of that. Why would we be seeing this in this day and age? Why would we be seeing it in South Africa today? And of course, the question is, why has nobody done anything about it?
Well, I think we're seeing it in HIV-positive women because, HIV-positive women are dehumanized, marginalized, and prone to human rights violation, both at a community level but also at a state level. And with regards, to, practices of apartheid, you would know, for an example, that the reproductive crimes of apartheid South Africa were not really addressed. They didn't make it to the Truth and Reconciliation, women were silenced in a way, there was just one blanket statement. Then you see the practice, targeting HIV-positive women, because HIV came immediately after transition, from apartheid into, into democracy. Yeah. So you get women living with HIV who are targeted. It is highly likely that it came with some silence HIV policy, because it's very systematic and it's very targeted. And we believe that it's, it's mass sterilizations. And we say that because when we lodged the complaint to the CGE in 2015, we were lodging the complaint on behalf of 48 women whom, had come forward to say this has happened to us, and obviously for justice for all HIV-positive women who have been sterilized in this country. And in the same year,
Sethembiso, you've had a meeting or you've had a gathering to discuss what needs to happen now. So what is the outcome of that, of your talks? Who do we absolutely hold responsible for this? And how do we make sure that these people, that something is actually done, that it's not just all on paper?
Yes, we've had a meeting where we've agreed that we are going to mobilize and move on, because it's a year since the report was released, and it made, gross human rights findings, our rights to dignity and bodily integrity, and one of the findings was the highest level of human rights violations, which is cruel, inhumane, torturous, and degrading treatment, so that is high, both in national law and also in international law. So we have not seen much. First, the Department of Health had to be served with a MORA by the Commission for Gender Equality, before it responded. And what we have seen happen is that the Department of Health has since set up a committee that is going to decide on the redress that is due to us. because one of the recommendations is that the state or the department must engage with us on redress matters. So the committee is comprised of a medical doctor, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and a religious leader. And we are not participating in that committee, as such. We say nothing for us without us, because what is coming from that committee does not match the human rights violation, the gross human rights violation. And our expectation was that, because this is gross human rights violation, it is not medical negligence, because it is systematic. It will be treated as a human rights, matter. We're expecting that the president will make a pronouncement on this, particularly because it's committed, to ending violence against women. Because forced sterilization in international law is the worst form of violence against women. So the committee has come up with a package, which we are not, able to give details of at this time. But, just to recap, our challenges with that package is that it is meant for the 48 women who came forward in the CGE report. But the justice we are seeking is for all women who are living with HIV who have been sterilized. You cannot be placing people on waiting lists for redress of human rights violations. And the package is basically, it's prescribing what is due to us, which is mainly counseling, and we feel that it's secondary victimization because they sterilized, us because they decided that this is what is good for us, and they're doing exactly the same, by, saying this is what, this is what we should be getting without us, and if it's human rights violations, there has to be constitutional damages, rather than, counseling packages, and packages that are not speaking to our experiences of pain and loss, that we've experienced over time.
All right, Sethembiso Mthembu, we'll leave it there for now. We'll continue to keep an eye on the story and see what progress, if any, is made. Sethembiso Mthembu from the Her Rights Initiative there.